With baseball season underway and basketball barreling towards the playoffs, many sports cards are going up. But today, we picked out the 5 biggest to show you.
My name is Jeff Wilson. By day, I invest in tech companies. And at night, I invest in sports cards. Join me on my journey to profit from the hobby we all love.
Hello, sports card investors, and welcome to a Top 5 Tuesday. Welcome to a great day here in the city of Atlanta. Because do you know what I am about to do the second I post this video? I am on my way with my whole sports card investor team. We're going to the Hawks game because tonight, ladies and gentlemen, the Atlanta Hawks are playing Lonzo Ball and the New Orleans Pelicans. So we are going to cheer on the Hawks, but maybe cheer on Lonzo a little bit at the same time. We're going to have some fun with that. You should follow along with us on our Instagram, Sports Card Investor on Instagram. It is going to be a fun night tonight. But look, we are here today to talk about cards going up, and there are several good ones to talk about. And although it's not in today's show, there's a lot of excitement right now around 2020 Prism basketball. Some of the card designs are awesome. And I am excited to announce that we have just added 2020 Prism basketball, tons and tons of cards into Market Movers. Take a look right here. These are all 2020 Prism basketball cards that we are tracking all of these different players. Right now in Market Movers, you can see all of the price updates. And we've added several 2020 Prism basketball cards into our Sports Card Investor app, including that awesome LeBron card. I like that one quite a bit. So you can track all of the price changes. So whether you're using Market Movers or the Sports Card Investor app, there's a lot of 2020 Prism basketball for you to track and enjoy. To find out more about Market Movers, go to sportscardinvestor.com and click on Market Movers in the main menu bar. And of course, if you have not downloaded the Sports Card Investor app yet, go immediately to the App Store and download it. Just search for Sports Card Investor in the App Store. All right, guys, are you ready? Are you ready for today's top 5? It is time to jump right in. Starting off at number 5, man, a player I'm really excited is in the top 5 this week, Shohei Ohtani. I like Shohei. Those of you who have been in the hobby for a couple of years know that he was the hottest player. Everybody was chasing this guy's cards back in 2018. And of course, he won the American League Rookie of the Year that year. But then he got the injury bug. He was out for a lot of 2019. I was expecting big things from him last year in 2020, but he still struggled with injuries. But it seems to be turning around and coming back together for him. Throughout spring training, he showed absolutely incredible potential as he was red hot during spring training. And then Sunday, just this past Sunday, he threw the fastest pitch by a starting pitcher this season, over 100 miles per hour. And then he homered with one of the hardest hit home runs by any player at over 115 miles per hour. That is what we love about Shohei, that he's got the potential to do that type of thing as a two-way player. So hopefully, he can keep that going this season. His card prices, they have been on the rise for quite some time. On the screen here is his 2018 Topps base card in PSA 10 and his 2018 Topps Chrome base card in PSA 10, his 2 rookie cards. Both of these cards are up a bunch over the course of the last 90 days. In fact, specifically, his Topps card is up 160%. His Topps Chrome card is up 245%. That Topps Chrome card back in January, 90 days ago, you could have bought for right around $50 in PSA 10. And today that card is consistently selling for about $175 or more. Likely, possibly, to go up even more after the performance he has shown so far this season. All right, for our number 4 guy on the list, let's stick with baseball. Let's go for a player who was huge last year in the World Series, so much so that, of course, he won the World Series MVP. But Corey Seager has been a big name player for quite a while, an important player for the Dodgers. He, of course, was the 18th overall pick back in 2012 by the Dodgers. And this season in 2021, he is already off to a hot start. In fact, he has 8 hits in only 12 at-bats so far this season. So he is just rolling last year's momentum into this season. But what's really interesting about Corey Seager from a card investment standpoint is this could be his last season in LA. He is in the final year. Actually, it's just a 1-year contract that he signed for this season while he is going through arbitration. And he could be in line for a monster free agent contract after this season. Big contracts and switching teams, always good for card prices. So Seager has a lot of upside beyond what he can do for the Dodgers in the months ahead. His cards are reflecting that upside. Here on the screen is his 2016 Topps Chrome base card in PSA 10. I also brought it up in BGS 9.5, as well as his Topps Chrome refractor from PSA 10 from 2016. They all tell the same story, which is a story of cards going up. And in fact, these cards are up 160%, 102%, 85% all over the last 30 days. This graph is just the last 30 days. So we're talking about cards that have doubled or more over the last 30 days. People are excited about Seeger. His card prices are certainly showing it. For the number 3 player on today's list, we're switching over to the sport of basketball, and we're going for a highly ranked rookie in the 2018 class, but one who really didn't fully live up to his potential yet. Lots of injury issues, but he was the 7th overall pick in 2018. I'm talking about Wendell Carter Jr. Of course, he went to the Chicago Bulls, didn't really live up to expectations the first 2 years, again, plagued with injury, but this year, he's finally been healthy. He has played the most games of his career by far this year compared to the prior years. But he never, in Chicago, even playing a lot of games, never really found the spot in the lineup that was going to put him in the spotlight. But that changed recently when he was traded to the Orlando Magic. And now that he is with the Magic, he has a bigger role with the Magic, is making the case for a starting role with the Magic. The stats of his first few games with Orlando have been good. He's been averaging 15 points per game and 9 rebounds per game since joining Orlando. So basketball card investors are starting to get excited that maybe we will see the potential that Wendell Carter seems to have. So let's take a look at what that means for his card prices. I brought his 2018 Prism Silver card in PSA 10 up here on the screen, and you can really see what this card has done really over the course of the last week. It has shot up over the last week. In fact, it has about doubled over the course of the last week. If you look at that trajectory, of course, that recent trade certainly allowed that to happen. People got excited about his performance again. What's really interesting, within market movers now, a lot of cards have a year or more worth of data. So you can actually change the date range on a card like this and look at the last 365 days worth of data. It's interesting to look at that pattern. You can see how, there was a lot of kind of buildup and excitement about him coming into this year's basketball season because people thought, okay, he's going to finally be healthy. But then really his play with the Bulls did not get people excited. And you can see that pretty significant drop over the course of this season. But then you see that run up since the trade to Orlando. So it's interesting to look at that historical perspective and see how his cards have progressed over the course of the last year. In the number 2 spot this week, we are going with a UFC fighter. UFC cards have been hot. You've heard me mention them on this show several times before, as is the case with this week's number 2, Sean O'Malley. Sean O'Malley is considered one of the bright, young, up-and-coming stars in UFC. He is a fan favorite, a 13-1 record across MMA, but it is actually what happened 2 weekends ago in UFC 260 that caused a lot of additional interest in his cards. He knocked down his opponent in the first round. He was obliterating his opponent. Actually intentionally allowed his opponent to get back up just so he could knock him out in the third round in a more spectacular way. He very much felt like he had that fight under control. And Sean O'Malley card investors very much feel like they got his cards under control because they are going up and up. I brought 3 of his 2018 Topps Chrome cards up on the screen. All 3 of these are in raw condition because there's not very many graded cards of Sean O'Malley out there. But you can see his base card in raw condition, his Diamond Hotbox Refractor raw card there, and then his 2018 Topps Chrome Refractor card. All 3 of those trend lines pointing up and to the right, exactly what you want to see with cards going up. Some of these have had crazy appreciation. Like, look at this one. His refractor is up 712% over the course of the last 90 days. Incredible. His hot box is up 150%. His base card is up 98%. But yeah, look at this refractor card. You could have bought, and of course there's very, very few sales of this refractor card, but you could have bought one for $15 back in January, and that card most recently sold for $125. Absolutely incredible, the tear in card prices that Sean O'Malley and many UFC stars have seen recently. And now it's time for the number 1 card on today's list, and the name of this player is a name that harkens many childhood memories with me. Terrance Mann. And no, the childhood memories are not Terrance Mann, the basketball player, because he wasn't even alive when I was a kid. It is Terrance Mann, the character played by James Earl Jones in the movie Field of Dreams. Field of Dreams was my all-time favorite movie growing up as a kid, and I loved James Earl Jones' character. And of course, in the movie, he was, in fact, Terrance Mann. So when I hear about Terrance Mann, the basketball player, I cannot help but think back to Terrance Mann from Field of Dreams. But of course, the two couldn't be more opposite. They have nothing to do with each other. So right now, let's talk about Terrance Mann, the basketball player. Terrance Mann, the basketball player, was not a highly regarded rookie when he entered the 2019 draft. He was actually, though, somebody who I knew about, somebody who I thought had potential because, unfortunately, he played for the Florida State Seminoles. Boo. So as a Florida Gator, I watched this guy play. I watched games against him. I saw him play other teams, always rooted against him, but I always thought he was a pretty good player. And when the Clippers selected him 48th overall in the 2019 draft, I thought the Clippers got a pretty good value. Here he is in his second year in the league, and all of his stats are getting better. In fact, he's doubled his key statistical category. Almost every statistical category has at least doubled for him this season. He's also, by the way, shooting 39% from 3, despite being the guy on the Clippers who kind of does all the dirty work on a team that is filled with stars. As we're approaching the playoffs and people are getting optimistic that the Clippers may have a shot this year, Terrance Mann is rising into the spotlight for basketball card investors. And you can see that reflected here in his card prices. Look at the rise of that Prism Silver card, the top line in the graph, in PSA 10 condition. And the raw card is going up a lot as well. The PSA 10 of this 2019 Prism Silver card for Terrance Mann sold for $61 back in early February. It most recently sold for $200. That's a 227% increase. That is a relatively inexpensive card when it comes to investing in a PSA 10 silver card, but we've seen a lot of upwards potential. The raw card's gone up even more. You could have bought this raw card for $5, his 2019 Prism Silver Raw for $5 back in early February. Recent sales of that card have been $26, $34, $31. We're talking about an increase of over 500% over the course of the last 2 months. And hey, even if you get into the sports card investing game on a very limited budget, this is a great example of the fact you can still flip cards for profit if you pick the right ones. $5 turning into $30 over the course of 60 days. It's a pretty solid profit no matter what your budget level is. Terrance Mann, well deserving of our number one spot this week. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed the top 5. Make sure to get that Sports Card Investor app and check out all of the great new 2020 Prism cards. And then when you're ready to go in a little more detail, and when you're ready to look at all of the price graphs, such as all of the ones that I showed in our episode today, and really analyze the market, including tons of 2020 Prism basketball cards, you need market movers. Go to sportscardinvestor.com, click market movers in the main menu bar to get that and to learn all about it. All right, guys, I appreciate it. I'm out of here. I'm going to that Hawks game. I'm going to watch Lonzo and Trey. It's going to be a lot of fun. Enjoy the rest of your day, everybody. See you soon. Take care.